Once again, you are live with us right here at radio station KUCB. I'm your host, Brother Jamal, and this is another broadcast that we're bringing to you. I want to give you a little, as we always do, we like to give you a little background information about radio station KUCB, kind of bring you up to speed on this radio station. We were privileged here in Des Moines, Iowa, to have a low watt, low powered, non commercial 10-watt radio station. We had it for about 20 years. And we had a staff of about 60, 65 people. Nobody got paid, all the volunteers from the community. We had an extensive training program where we trained the young people to get experience in broadcasting and news and weather, making public service announcements and doing all that. We trained them to do it. And then after they completed the training program, they were able to get a radio show on the radio where they would have their own show, DJing, could have their friends up, however they want to do it. We had a good relationship with the community. We had a good relationship with the parents. So we were able to do that. And that was one of the things we were proud of. I also had the pleasure and the honor of working with Sister Hadisha Marion. We worked together on the station for 20-some years. We did a Saturday broadcast called the International Found Call Hour. We did a weekly show called the African Liberation Hour. That was broadcast Monday through Friday. Let me also inform you, too, I'd be remiss if I didn't. We were on the air 24 hours, nonstop. We never signed off, only if it was due to technical problems, something like that. The signal on a good night, clear night, sometime would carry beyond 10 miles. And sometime Ames, Iowa is about 30 miles from Des Moines, Iowa. They could pick us up sometime. The students, Iowa City, Iowa was about 100 miles east. They could pick us up some nights on a clear night. So the signal would carry, depending on the weather oftentimes, but it would carry. The founders of radio station KUCB was Joanne Cheatham. Brother Charles Knox was our legal consultant. He did all our legal work. He was one of the brain thus behind the establishment of radio station KUCB. We went on the air like 81, 82, and we was on the air for about 20-some years. So we decided that we would go from, we lost the license in the late 90s. We lost the license. We still use KUCB because that belongs to us. Actually, Urban Community Broadcasting Company. That's what the KUCB stood for. And we still use that, and we can still use that this day and time. We decided we would move to social media to do videos prior, kind of set up the same way we did the radio shows, interview, talk shows, just all the kind of events and the latest things that were going on, current events. We tried to do all that on radio station KUCB. So we decided, inshallah, we would continue to keep it up, take it to social media, take it to another level. So if this is your first time tuning us in, first time catching one of these live broadcasts, you may see it later on. We have been doing a series of broadcasts on Black women missing, Black women and Black girls missing for quite some time. And so this is a continuation of that. You probably won't see anything on the national news, on the national stations. So we decided we would make videos, and people have been talking about and requesting, and nobody's really talking about this. Nobody's really I'm not going to say they're not concerned about it. It's the fact that we don't see too many people talking about it. We don't see too many people just talk about what's happening with this and kind of digging into this thing. So what we decided we would do would go and do a series of broadcasts. We did a number of shows on this. And what we have concluded in doing these shows, we have also concluded that there have been, at least we have found out, there's been 4 black women who have been murdered. Since we've been doing these shows, we found that out that four of the black women have been murdered. And you know what? You know the other thing that I have been noticing, I share this with you, with you guys who may catch this, like I said, now or later. One of the things I've been noticing about some of the places where black women have been murdered, black girls have been murdered. Las Vegas is one of the places. Uh, Columbus, Ohio is one of the places. And around, those two places, Columbus, Ohio, and also up around the Philadelphia area, we find there's been lots of young girls going missing. I don't want to miss Berkeley, Missouri, a little town north of St. Louis, Missouri. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you, give you something to think about. I first want to mention about some of the young women who have been murdered. They have been located, but they were found dead and they were found murdered. The first one is a young lady who was a community active up around the Columbus, Ohio area. Her name was Amber Evans. She was 28 years of age. Her body was found in the Ohio River some time ago. She had been missing for quite some time, but not too long ago, they found her body. Amber Evans, 28 years of age. Her body was found in the Columbus, Ohio River, and she was dead. The second young lady that and these sisters, these black women we're talking about, you probably most likely won't hear it on the national news. You may hear it in the area where they were from. You may hear a broadcast there, but as far as a national thing, as far as a broadcast of the big TV station, radio station, you probably most likely won't hear it. This was a Dr. Sonia K. Forbes, 40 years of age. She was found dead in her home, stabbed to death. Now, the interesting thing about Dr. Forbes was she was doing some heavy research and had a breakthrough on research as it relates to people having she was doing some natural research and work and stuff and working on a situation where she had made a major discovery working on something to help people with their eyes and with their sight. But she had discovered something real big and something important. And Dr. Sonia K. Forbes ended up being stabbed to death and murdered in her home. She was found dead in her home, stabbed to death. This is second black woman. The third is the death of the first female U.S. Muslim judge. Her body was found in the Hudson River. I'll say that again. The death of the first female U.S. Muslim judge being treated as suspicious. Her body was found in the Hudson River. And the fourth young black girl, her body was found in a duffel bag on a hiking trail. This was reported by the LA County Sheriff Department. Now, we ought to be concerned about these deaths that are going on, these murders that are going on. We should be concerned about this, y'all. We should be concerned about it. And it's something to be alarmed about. It is something to be upset about, be outraged about. Because what if, and this is something that I want to throw out to give you something to think about. We have been having some discussions with people around the country, and also I've heard this come up a number of times, that some of these police departments have been infiltrated by these white supremacist groups. Or if this could be white supremacist groups that are behind this. We don't know if it is. We don't know if it's not. I'm just throwing it out. But it's something to think about, you guys. It's something to really seriously think about. You know, what if within these police departments they have been infiltrated by the white supremacist groups, and they could be going around murdering black women, black girls, uh, you name it. I just let me mention this too, because this is real critical as I get into this discussion and bring this up. I just saw today, makes 7 years ago, a young black woman in Yonkers, New York. 7 years ago today, she was last seen leaving the Port Authority uh, bus terminal. That's in New York City. She was last seen. Surveillance cameras is showing that she was last seen leaving the New York City Port Authority. Her name is Stephen Bates. This is 7 years ago. It marked today. This is Yonkers, New York. Also, I just saw today, this is a black boy that's missing. 9-year-old black boy is missing around the East Columbus area. I just saw this, just picked this up tonight. And I also got a 13-year-old black girl from Texas. This is not necessarily a different story. It is a little bit different, but yes, I want to mention it anyway. This 13-year-old girl who was in Texas, who was going home from school, and two girls end up jumping her and beating her up. They end up kicking her in the head. As she was walking home from school, she went into a coma and she ended up passing away. 13 years of age, black girl in Texas. This was reported by KTRK TV station in Texas. Once again, a 13-year-old black girl from Texas passed away following a fight with two teens who jumped her while she was walking home from school. Now that is the most ridiculous thing, not ridiculous about what they're saying, but the ridiculous fact that this young girl ended up losing her life because these girls jumped her. But I wanted to mention that to you and put this in too with that. The other thing I wanted to mention to you, this comes from the Chicago area. Somebody put up a poster board sign. I caught this on Facebook in the Chicago area, and the poster board sign simply said, "Today be aware. Some is snatching black women. Watch for a big van and trucks. Run, get plates, call 911." Someone put this up in the Chicago area about what was happening. It said, "Today be aware. Someone is snatching black women. Watch for a big vans and trucks." That's what someone had posted in the Chicago area. They had a big poster board sign up that was going on. So I'll say to you again that these are things that are occurring. And oftentimes people would say, people are paranoid. They would go into all kind of crazy stuff to have us think that people are paranoid about these things. I'm saying the people out there that's listening, make sure you talk to your young girls, to your young women, black women in general. These are some serious times that we're living in, and you have to really be aware, conscious, and aware of your surroundings. You have to be all the time. You have to be conscious, aware of your surroundings. I also mentioned to you too, a town north of St. Louis County, a small community town there called Berkeley, Missouri. Since 2000 alone, they've had 33 kids missing, disappeared, I should say. Out of those 33, 12 of them have been black girls. I'll say this again. a town north of St. Louis, Missouri, St. Louis County. It's called Berkeley, Missouri. They said they've had since 2000 33 kids to disappear. Out of the 33, 12 of them were black girls. So once again, we raise the question to you. We pose two questions to you. Could it be that these police departments have been infiltrated by these white supremacist groups? And could it be that the white supremacist groups are the one that is behind snatching up black women, black girls, even black boys? And we mentioned to you early on in the broadcast, we now know for a fact we have at least four. Uh, my count is we have four black women who have been murdered, who have found, they literally have found their bodies and they've been murdered. They actually are deceased. We know that. Um, the other thing is too, I want to mention to you too. This is on a serious note. I'm just kind of going through my notes here. And the other thing I want to mention to you too is that I mentioned to you about from TV VI St. Louis. This is Channel 2 Fox News. I mentioned you St. Louis, Missouri, St. Louis County. 12 girls, black girls, have been missing. Out of the 33, 12 of them are black girls been missing. And they still are missing. And one of the things that came up in this St. Louis thing is that, sex trafficking and sex slavery is big in the Midwest. We sit right in the middle. The pipeline is from New York to Atlanta, from Atlanta to New York. We sit right in the Midwest. And sex trafficking is big time. It's going on big time. And so this could be involved in this too, sex trafficking, sex slavery. All this could be happening. And one of the things that they have discovered in the St. Louis situation, they said oftentimes abandoned houses, oftentimes abandoned buildings can be used as a place where they hold these women, hold these girls, that even sometime in some of the motels could be a station, could be a place where they hold these girls until they can sell them off, until they can do whatever they do. We also saw too where there was a male woman in Chicago who has been missing for quite a while, y'all. And we pray that she can be located, but she has been missing for quite some time. A male lady in the Chicago area has been missing for quite some time. I think her last name is Cole, and she was headed to work. She never got to work. She never made it to work, but she just disappeared, and she has been missing for quite some time. And so I wanted to mention that to you. The other thing is too, I have down to a young black girl missing from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department reported a young black girl missing. Like I said, there's something about the Las Vegas area where so many young girls go missing. Also something about, I mentioned to you too, we also had a report of 7 black girls have went missing in the Philadelphia area in the past months. 7 black girls have went missing in the Philadelphia area in the past month. That's another area. Philadelphia, the St. Louis County, Berkeley, Missouri, Philadelphia, Las Vegas, and Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio, in that area. These have been the places that we've seen where, I'm not saying they haven't happened in other places, they have, but these are the places where we've seen that's been a reoccurrence of black women and black girls missing, and even sometimes even black boys missing in those areas. I'll say it to you again. Could it be that the police departments in this country have been infiltrated by these white supremacist groups, and they could be behind this, or could they be doing some of this stuff too? We know sex trafficking is going on. We know that's big time. And this is where I would say to the family members, you really, really need to talk to these young girls, to these young women. I know oftentimes when things happen in situations, in families, the first thing that a girl might want to do, a child might want to do is run away from home. Well, I'd be the first to say, regardless of what is going on at home, regardless of you not liking the rules and you may not like the way things are, you may not can do what you want to do. Trust me, when you run away from home, what you're running to is much worse than what you may be going through, what you may be dealing with at home. So when you run away, you don't know who and what you're going to encounter. That's what these young girls and young women don't realize. The ones that run away home. I know sometimes girls get to the point where they think they're grown. They don't want to do what their parents say. They don't want to be in at a certain time. They want to stay out all night. I'm saying staying out all night, walking and hanging out in areas and places where you know it's not safe and that you shouldn't be, then it's not a good thing. Let me also say too, I know this coming this coming week and this coming month, so many of the kids be graduating from high school, and just this is just an advice to you. Don't do something that you'll be sorry or regret the rest of your life because of one night. You know, graduation year, alhamdulillah, I know that's a big thing in the life. I know prom, that's a big thing. But that's only one day. You got to live, inshallah. You got to live the days after that. You got to go on with your life on whatever you plan doing. I've said to lots of the young girls and young women that are graduating, this is just the first phase of your life. You're getting ready to go into a second phase of your life, you know? And so there's rules, there's regulations out here. You just can't go wild, act wild, and that's not how life is. So there's rules, there's regulations, there's things you can do, there's things you can't do. There's lines, there's boundaries that you can't, and it's not good to cross. Sometimes you can be in the wrong place, wrong time. You can be innocent, and something can happen. You can be in the wrong place, wrong time. There's no reason to go out partying, being out late at night, being by yourself, driving, walking by yourself. There's no reason to be there. And sometimes, I hate to say it, sometimes these girls, sometimes these women can run into some crazy fools and nuts that be out here. You know what I'm saying? You might think you know somebody, but you may not know that person as well as you think you do. And that person may quickly change up on you. His whole personality, his whole demeanor might change on you. The person that you might thought that you knew may become a stranger to you because they may change up on you, you know. So I'm just saying, these are the times we live in, and we need to talk to our young women and talk to our young girls, you know, just by being aware of your surroundings. That's extremely important. Being aware of your surroundings. That is really, really important. This is another special broadcast that we brought to you. I'm Brother Jamal, the host. Our motto here at radio station KUCB is that we communicate to educate and organize, and truth is the wealth of freedom. I'll say it again, truth is the wealth of freedom. We communicate to educate and organize.